Hello and welcome to the Ask Coach Neka platform. Today I'm going to answer a question from Ade, who was overly concerned about what he needed to do regarding a recently hired employee who after 3 months was performing well below expectations, and he seemed to have been a great candidate, a great employee. You know, this challenge is not peculiar to businesses in Africa. It's common everywhere in the world, even in America. I'm currently in the States right now working with a client of mine, and yes, so I see this in different businesses that I work with. And one of the issues one of the often neglected activities when an employee is hired is the onboarding process. The onboarding process is not just for very big multinationals, but even in a company that is, has 2-3 employees, even one employee. The onboarding process, it's a process through which an employee gets comfortable, gets the required knowledge, skill set, even behaviors of the new company that he or she is joining. And it's important that if you're a business owner, that you are deliberate about ensuring that a proper onboarding process has taken place. And so what do you do about it? For example, even just getting where the employee is going to stay, his or her work space, the tools that are going to require access to program on the first day, ensuring that proper introductions are made with the different people that he or she is going to be involved with, even the whole staff, right? Usually, because people are so busy, they forget that this is often very important. I've been in several conferences where in the panel, I remember a lady who was talking about she was so excited to join this company, but the onboarding process was so poor. And that was one of the reasons why after 6 months, she called it quits. So it's important that you are intentional about ensuring that the new employee has a great experience, particularly the first 3 months. I'm not an HR expert, but from the experience I know and having worked with so many businesses, 3 months is usually the minimum. And so if you're beginning to expect massive exceeding expectations, then you are not really managing those expectations well, because it does take time. There is a learning curve that is involved with a new employer. No matter how great the employee was in his previous company, or how intelligent or how knowledgeable, it takes some acclimatization for that to happen. And so it's important that you manage these expectations from the very beginning, giving some level of some leeway, right, in terms of what is being expected. The second issue, or the second area that Ade had not considered, was even setting up a body system. And from experience, I'd worked with I'd worked with 2 global technology companies. The first one had a fantastic onboarding process. And an onboarding process as well as this body system. A body system is part of the onboarding process, whereby a very successful employee, of one who is doing very well, a great employee, is paired with this new employee. I remember having a fantastic body system who had won several awards in his time at this tech company, and so I was able to bond with him, ask him questions that I would not typically ask, in a formal setting, and this was more like giving me an understanding of the culture, the unspoken laws, right, so to speak, that an employer typically will not tell you. And that really, really helped me settle in. And then what happened was that obviously I was also able to do as well, because he had given me this really the unwritten rules of success. So that really helped me a lot. And then fast forward to another tech company I was involved in. The onboarding process was not as good, and I had several colleagues who had actually come to me still asking me for information. But because I had learned from my previous body of really how to navigate my way in this organization, I was able to settle in quicker than normal, because I had some knowledge about having a body and what is required and how to navigate the business. So if you don't have an onboarding system in place, even if you are 2-3 employee company, I encourage you to take time out, just think through what are the necessary steps, what were the things that will be necessary for an employee to settle in within 3 months, and then manage the time expectations. The third, last but not the least, of ensuring that an employee is successful is to have a periodic follow-up. So that could be a 30, 60, 90-day follow-up. And that is planned. So you tell the employee you're going to have a 30-day checkup, a 30-day check-in, a 60-day check-in, and a 90-day check-in. And these are the expectations that are required or expected of you during those time periods. So that then kind of manages the right expectations. The employee is comfortable. The employee knows what is expected of them. And it's not so much as a performance review, but really just a follow-up, a check-in to ensure that this employee has settled in. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. I would like to hear from you, the experiences that you've had as an employer, with onboarding your employees. What has been your experience? And I also like to hear from employees. What has been your experience? What has been a great experience when you move to a new company? Also, feel free to post your questions so I can take that in my next Ask Coach NECA platform. Until then, ensure that you live a significant life. Bye.